The art of crocheting may be old, and it definitely was not easy for me in elementary when we were taught this, but not altogether lost. Some people are still considering this tedious activity a passion. Pia Bonalos talks to a Gantsilyo guro this morning to tell us more about this. Hi Pia, good morning once again.
Good morning, Amelin. This morning, I will be introduced to the world of crocheting. Honestly, I don't think I have the patience for something like this, but let's see if the Gantsilyo guru herself, Trey, could convert me to doing something like this. Good morning, Trey.
Good morning.
First, can you tell me about how it all started? Because you are fairly young, and you know when you say people are into crocheting or knitting, you'd imagine someone much older.
Yeah, I started crocheting in high school. We were taught crochet as part of our home economics class. So that's where I started crocheting. I made, actually the Christmas tree there is my first project.
This one, when you were in high school.
Yeah.
But I do remember in high school, we were taught how to crochet, but nothing like this. Was this the exact project your teacher asked you to make?
We made like doilies. We were taught to make doilies, the coasters, the small projects.
Yes.
But then I guess I got hooked. So I bought my own pattern book and learned how to crochet other stitches on my own and made a big project. So.
And this is that big project that started it all.
Yes,
Back when you were in high school, what made you get into it that you would make something as elaborate as this one?
Yeah. Because I'm a very detail-oriented person, and I think the craft itself, crochet, jived with my personality, and it's very stress-relieving for me. I get stressed a lot sometimes, and it
Don't
helps
we all?
me.
Yeah.
But it helped me a lot. So there's the psychological part, and then the interest in the craft itself. So it just jived with my personality, and
I guess that's something that I could get into. I do get stressed a lot. And then from there, of course, you can't really make a nice crocheted pattern or item like that without a good yarn. So when you were starting, were you able to find like good yarns around?
Yes, well, I started with the cotton yarn, the thin ones, which are available locally, and you can actually make many projects with it.
Okay.
But then, I guess here in the Philippines, we're used to that kind of yarn, the thin cotton ones, and maybe the acrylic ones that you buy in bookstores everywhere. But there are actually many kinds of yarn, and usually they're found abroad, and some of them are made with natural fibers like wool. And I guess it's not that famous here because the weather here is very warm. Usually wool and other types of fiber are more suited for the cold environment. But there are many kinds of yarn out there.
And it really surprised me, like looking at these yarns in front of us, because like you mentioned, I'm more familiar with like the thin ones. But here, can you like walk me through some of them? Like this one right here. Can you tell me about it? Because it looks a little bit glittery.
Yeah, it's actually acrylic yarn. It's made with synthetic fiber, and it has a glittery thread with it. So you can make decor or other projects that have that kind of effect. And you also have the thicker ones. This is made of wool, merino wool, so it's really, really soft. And also you also have different kinds of yarn with different colors.
This is so pretty, yeah.
So it's multicolored or variegated. So you have that effect where you can achieve many colors with the project that you have. And yeah, so there are many kinds, even the bulky ones. So
look at this
as
one.
Big as this one. So.
Yes. Just looking at it, I can imagine it being a sweater later on.
Yeah, and even maybe a blanket.
Oh yeah.
So it's big, so you can make it. You can achieve more with this kind of yarn.
Of course, you could have the yarns, and then of course you can't have that. You can't make a project without the tools.
Yes.
And the thing about the hooks, I was only familiar with like the small ones. These are the ones they usually give out in home ec class. There, exactly that one. But surprisingly, there are a lot of other hooks pala. Can you tell me a little about the hooks?
Yeah, sure. There are many kinds of hooks that are made with different kinds of material. So the one that I guess in the Philippines, we're used to the steel ones.
Yes, that's
So this is made of steel, and it has the smaller hooks. And actually, you have hooks that are made of plastic. So it's lightweight, and kids can use this. And also you have the ones made of aluminum. So it's durable, and it's also lightweight. So There are actually other hooks that are made of wood or bamboo. So there are many kinds of materials in many different sizes.
Does it make a difference? Does the size make a difference with like the end product?
Yes, it does. Actually, that's why you have many sizes, because you have many sizes of yarn also. So if you have a bigger hook, of course, it's suited to a certain size of yarn. And the thin ones are more suited with
Like the friendship bracelets I used to make
yeah, you
when I
can
was
use
in
the
high
hook with
school.
that. Yeah, the smaller ones. So
Okay.
the hooks make a difference with the output. So maybe if you have a smaller hook, you can achieve smaller stitches. But if your hooks are too small, your projects might curl up because of the smaller stitches.
So that's why you could shift to like the
Yes,
bigger ones.
You can shift to that.
Okay, but of course you are the Gantsilyo guru and you do hold workshops. Can you
I
give
do.
us a little bit of a sampling? Like for someone who could probably like me, just starting out, can you show us a little bit of
Yeah,
stuff
sure.
like we
Actually,
could do?
yeah, actually in my workshops, I teach the basic stitches. And actually in our workshops, the end product is for each participant. All beginner participants get to make this kind of project. It's
Wow.
a granny square.
Yes.
It's a motif, and you can actually do anything with this kind of project. You can attach each square and make it into a blanket. So
Ah, that's pretty.
or any other projects.
So can you show us, because the only thing I know is like the basic one, apparently you just knot it like that.
Yes. This one is made up of different double crochet stitches. So it's a matter of turning over the yarn and inserting it on the space and going over the loops so you can have a taller stitch.
Okay.
Because these are taller stitches, the double crochet, and the chain is the typical, is the most basic stitch.
There, yeah, the chain. That's
know
what
the
I'm
chain,
familiar
right?
with. Yes, yes.
At least you know how to make that.
I think I don't know if I could still make it now,
Yeah.
but okay. So that's a chain.
That's a chain, and then you repeat. Actually, the pattern is it's just a repetitive pattern. You just repeat the stitches. So yarn over, go inside the space, go through the loops. You go around, so you are able to achieve something like this.
Looks like a small kind of dance, just looking at it, like how graceful your fingers just go over the yarn.
It takes practice, actually. So I tell my participants that, you can, in this workshop, I'm able to teach you the stitches, but at least when you get home, you still need to practice because
Okay.
it really takes practice. The process of holding the yarn like
Yes.
this, you have to get used to it.
Okay.
Some people are really conscious with holding the yarn and holding the hook because there are many kinds of ways of holding the hook.
All right. So what you have to figure out what you're most comfortable
Yes,
with.
yes. Actually, I tell them that, there are ways to hold the hook, but at the end of the day, it's up to them what's more comfortable with them. Because some
Okay.
people are more used to holding it like this, like a pen, and some are used to holding it like a knife.
Okay.
So it's up to, I give them the options, but it's up to them what's more comfortable. So
How long does the workshop usually last?
it lasts up to around 4 hours.
4 hours, and then at the end of
Yes.
4 hours, I could do something like
Yeah,
this.
for a beginner, they're able to make something like that.
Oh, cool.
That's
All
our
right.
goal.
But aside from your workshops, you do have some items,
Yes.
but they're not readily available. Can you tell me about, like, for
Yeah.
example, first, the ones that you have here in front? These
Yeah,
are very pretty. What? They're like bonnets?
Yes, yes, bonnets for kids and beanies. I do custom work as well, so because it takes time to make a project. So
Yes.
that's only when projects are asked from me, commissioned, that's when I only do the project. So for example, this one, I did a bridal bouquet for a
Yes.
bride, all crocheted. So I was asked to do that for her wedding because she wanted a bouquet that would last forever and not wilt.
Okay,
So-
can you guys just take a look at this one? It looks so pretty. How many little roses did you
I
make?
don't know, maybe around 50, I think.
Wow.
Different types of flowers for that one.
Look how pretty it is. And then for something like this, how long will it take you to come up with this?
I think it took me around 2 months to make. But of course, not straight, but I had breaks. But usually 2 months. I need around 2 months lead time or 3 months to make something like that.
You did mention that the bride wanted this to last forever. When did you make this? When was the bride
I think that was
married?
last year, summer
Okay.
last year.
But
So-
look at it. It still looks so, usually
so.
they would gather dust.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to take care of something that was crocheted?
Yeah, actually, usually it's just, well, for example, for something like this, you don't really wash it because it's sturdy. So you just put a covering over it or
Alright.
plastic or cover it in a jar. But
If you buy something like this,
you buy
for
something
example.
like this, I usually recommend hand wash.
Mhm.
So I don't recommend machine wash with crochet because it's handmade.
Yes.
So you have to be very delicate with taking care of it. And actually, the yarn that we use for the projects have washing instructions also. So
Okay.
it's like clothes. It
Yes.
has recommendations for washing.
If, for example, of course, you know how kids are, and then like there's a part that unravels a little bit,
Ah,
is there
yeah.
something I can still do about it to save it?
Well, if you know how to crochet,
Mhm.
you might be able to repair it. That's why it's very crucial for for crocheters to have their work really tight and knotted. And so yeah, if it unravels, there might be a chance for you to repair it. But of course, if you cut the yarn and maybe somewhere in the middle, it might be hard to. It's very delicate, so you really have to take care of the
Take
work.
good care of it, because
Exactly.
just looking at it, you see how delicate everything is, and you know the hard
Yeah.
work that went
is,
into
yes,
it.
yes.
There's no way of cheating it, no?
Yeah, no way, no way, no way.
And then aside from these, you also have this beautiful, it's like a shawl that you
Yes.
can use. Can you tell me about that one?
It's more of like an infinity shawl. So you wear it around. It's connected, so it's not like a shawl that drapes.
Okay.
That just drapes on two ends. So it's like you can wear it over your body, and you can actually divide it into two and cover your entire neck with it. But it's really warm because this is made of wool. I guess it's not suited to our environment. So
Well, right now you could still use it because
I
it's
think
pretty
it's
cool.
yeah, it's
diba?
morning, and
Yeah.
usually I get orders from this from people abroad because right now it's winter, so I had some orders from that past weeks.
Aside from these, the bonnets, and then of course
Yes.
the shawls, what other things could we order from you?
Well, actually, I also have an online yarn store where I offer different kinds of yarns and materials as well. And also, I do other custom materials, custom crochet materials as well.
If we order one of your custom crochet materials, how long do we expect for our order to arrive?
Yeah, it depends on the project because some clients prefer they want a certain project. So I tell them honestly how long it will take me to make, and so it really depends on the project. Maybe
How
for
big
the
it is.
bouquet, I need like 2 to 3 months
Yes.
lead time for that.
But for like the smaller
Yeah,
items, of
maybe
course.
a week or 2 weeks.
Wow,
Yeah.
looking forward to all the beautiful things that you could make, all with the help of the crochet guru herself. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, too.
There you have it. For those of you who are looking into getting something new, like a hobby or just making those handcrafted things that you could give your loved ones, do check out the things that the Gantsilyo guru herself offers.